as the fall gets going, schools are back in session, and that is very big news out of Seattle. We are now joined by Alejandra Guzman. What can you tell us about the teacher strike that is now over, and when can kids get back into school?
Good evening, Andy. I can tell you that it's been a roller coaster of emotions for parents, students, teachers, everyone in Seattle. As one of the largest school districts, teachers were on strike for at least 5 days now. And like you mentioned, there was a tentative agreement between the district and educators. This is now a huge sign of relief for parents who were caught scrambling for the last week or so with childcare. They were relying on friends, neighbors, drop-in centers with the city stepping in, but they filled up so quick that tonight they say they're thankful they're no longer scrambling. They say they're very fortunate because their students, their children are very excited to be finally able to start the school year tomorrow morning.
The Seattle Education Association and Seattle Public Schools have come to a tentative agreement on the educators' contract. Wednesday, September 14th, will be the first day of school for all students.
This is a voicemail many parents were anxiously awaiting for, as
thank you for your support.
Seattle Public School teachers were on strike for 5 days, delaying the start of the school year.
I'm just excited for the kids to get back to being with other kids and being where they should be with the instructors.
Parents say they're thankful they're no longer scrambling to find last-minute childcare after 57% of teachers voted to suspend the strike.
It definitely created a bit of a problem because of legal challenges. The daycares can't just open up according to state law, so we kind of had to punt and find solutions.
Teachers have been pushing for smaller class sizes, more support and resources for special education, and competitive pay.
The tentative agreement that we reached, reflects so much of what we were fighting for. We made movement on every issue that we went to the table.
While the details of the contract are pending, Superintendent Jones says the district and the Education Association put their differences aside, coming to an agreement allowing teachers to return to their classrooms, and is centered around students and their needs, and it already has a few goals in mind.
This year we're really focused on 3rd grade reading, 7th grade math, and college and career readiness as our primary goals. So we're ready to receive students.
The agreement is still pending ratification, but educators say they're excited to get back to their classrooms, and they're not the only ones.
The one thing I miss most about school is probably the good lunches.
Very happy because I love to learn.
While elementary students like Annika and Benjamin feel summer was extended, others like Franklin High School junior Natalia McConnell still have some concerns.
We hope this new tentative agreement that SEA and the Seattle School District agreed on really keeps in mind the needs of teachers and students at the same time.
Short term, there are a couple tasks that still need to be checked off, including first, that ratification of that contract, which has yet to be voted on, which could happen within the next week, if not a little longer, according to the Seattle Education Association. And then, of course, students will need to make up those 5 days that were missed because their teachers were on strike. Long term, though, the educators say that there's a lot of work to be done, especially at the Capitol, where they're going to plan to address the K through 12 schools and how they're being funded, especially focusing on special education, and then they plan to address these issues federally.
Thank you so much. And it's always great to just see those kids just being ready to go back to school. I just love to see their faces, especially after the last few years with COVID, and they haven't had normal school years. And it's just so great to see them finally get back to class, because that's what this is all about.
Andy, you hit it right on the head. These students, they talk about having to learn remotely and then going back to school. They crave and they're anxious to play with their friends, read in a classroom, just mingle about and have that normal classroom experience that we all had. So going back into the classroom after the pandemic, after these delayed start to the school year, let me just tell you, they're in for a real treat come this 2022-2023 school year.
Definitely, and I think you mentioned it a little bit in your package, but one of the points of contention was special education. Can you give a little bit more detail on why that was important to the union and also the community as a whole?
Special education is very crucial in the Seattle education system. Teachers say that there's a lot of resources. They want to make sure that special needs students do happen to get that one-on-one attention, making sure that those classrooms don't grow bigger than a certain amount, because then that of course decreases the attention they can provide to students, along with the regular classrooms that they don't want to exceed more than 25 students. Last year we've heard some classrooms got as large as 37, nearly 40 students, and teachers say that it's impossible to be able to give that individual care to each student. They can't even address simple questions. So that's what their main priority is, making sure that every single classroom, they can have that one-on-one interaction and make sure that each student has the attention and gets their questions answered in a timely fashion, rather than having to delay an education that they're clearly craving for.
Clearly craving for. I know a lot of kids are excited to get back to school. Well, thank you so much for your report there, Allie, as we continue to watch this one. We're glad it came to somewhat of a solution here tonight in Seattle.
Thank you so much, Andy. We'll see you soon.